All right. Hey, good morning. Good morning. All right. Let's check out what's happening in the market today. All right. So we see the ES over the weekly time frame. We've noticed ever since we had those lows a few weeks ago on the news, the ES is coming all the way back up. We've been talking about this level here around 5,600. Now it's 5,700. Where we got to last week. Kind of where we are today, sitting right underneath 5,700. The key is we're going to run back up to 6,000, 6,200. That seems like the path forward. Uh, so the question is when we're going to really clear 57.24, which looks like that is resistance for today, and 56.67 for the ES. Let's go take a look at this on a 4-hour chart. All right, on a 4-hour chart. All right, so the SP 500 is up a little bit. The Dow's up a little bit. NASDAQ kind of gapped up last night. Um, we had news yesterday around the trade deal with the U.S. and the U.K. that seemed to boost the economy, boost the market. There's some anticipation of China and trade talks will start happening. So the market is looking positive. NVIDIA shares are edging higher in the pre-market. Let's take a look. Let's go drop this down to an hourly real quick. Let's go take a look at NVIDIA. NVIDIA looked up yesterday. It had some pre-market activity where NVIDIA was up. But today we see the levels support at 116, resistance at 118 right now for NVIDIA. Other companies that were doing well pre-market, let's go look at Trade Desk. It's up 14%. Yeah, Trade Desk has been trading within a range. Popped up yesterday. It's all the way up to $70. So it has support at 65.44, resistance at 70.22. That's a nice gap. Let's take a look at Pinterest. Pinterest up huge overnight. Got to be careful with gap ups, gap downs. We see sellers sitting at 32.79 and resistance or support at 29.25 for Pinterest. And let's take a look at, see if we can get Cloudflare. Another big time overnight gainer. Ooh, Cloudflare went from 127 to 138. So we have resistance at 138 and support at 130 for Cloudflare. And then let's take a look at Lyft. So I know Uber has news coming out next week on its earnings. Look at Lyft on 14.52. We got support at 13.84 and resistance at 14.64. So those are some of the ones that jumped up pre-market. Let's take a look at Bitcoin. Bitcoin is over 100,000 for the first time in 3 months. So Bitcoin's been doing exceptionally well. I mentioned MicroStrategies as part of one of those stocks you could buy in the month of March. Also, you can do coin. So Bitcoin is doing well. It actually 103, 104. Let's go take a look at coin real quick. Since we're looking at crypto, yep, coin's been steady on the rise. Coin got support at 202 and can go up to 210. 202 for support and 210 for resistance for coin. Crude oil has been making some 2% gains based off the news yesterday. Indicating a rise in demand and a potential supply concern. So if crude is rising, that means overall global market feel positive about the news coming out of America. Therefore, that's another reason we can see stocks increase. Basic supply and demand. So supply, if there's a higher concern for demand, then prices will go up. All right, let's take a run through some additional stocks we're looking at for today. Oh, before we jump into that, let's take a look at a sector that's been getting smashed, and that is the healthcare sector, XLV. So let's take a look. Let's look at this on a 4-hour real quick. All right, so we see XLV started dropping off at the end of last week. Engulfing candle Tuesday, large engulfing candle. Wednesday, another engulfing candle. Thursday, hit resistance, we got rejected, and here we are at 134 going down. So which stock in healthcare sector has been dragging it down? Well, the big dog in the sector, Eli Lilly. So again, here we go. Eli Lilly crashed last Thursday, brought it all down, did a lot of consolidation. Tuesday, drop. Wednesday, drop. You could just, some people could just shorted Eli Lilly all week and did exceptionally well. Today it looks a little bit 739, 760. It may be up for a short again. Another one in that sector, hopefully it was United Healthcare. So this again is like getting Confluence or stocks in the sector all doing the same thing. If you're watching them, you can just trade off of them. So UNH really started the trend even before Eli Lilly. It was going down, going back down Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. So that was like yesterday when I mentioned the bank financial sector looking very positive. We'll see. Yesterday I played Visa, but MasterCard, American Express, they all did exceptionally well. And so just the opposite. MasterCard, Visa was very positive. Let's look at American Express. Same thing. Then just continuing, consolidate, go up. So if you find those stocks, same sector doing the same movement, it makes it a lot easier to trade. All right, cool. Let's look at anything today. So we just mentioned oil and gas. All right. So look, oil and gas, Chevron. Will it hold above 139? I'm not sure, but we're looking at Exxon. Again, trying to hold above 107. We'll be looking at that. That's two in that sector. Let's look at XLK. XLK is looking very, very positive right now. On the hourly, it's above the 8 moving average. So the tech sector, but a lot of that we saw TTD jump off. We showed that one already. So here's a Biogen. Not really feeling that one. Let's go BABA. So BABA, if BABA can get past 127, it's a play to the upside again. People are, every time there's a little conversation around talks with China, you can go look at BABA, PDD, BIDU. All right, 110, it got to get past 111, that's PDD. Let's go with BIDU. Still looking, still trying to find, don't like this one. Well, supports at 85, resistance at 88 for Baidu, so not as good. Trying to find, we'll look at the volume. Sort by volume. So Reddit, it's been consolidating for a minute. If it can break 109, we can probably go up to 111. What else do we see? FedEx got resistance. So let's go take a look at the SPY and QQQ. We might just wrap up on those. Not a lot of clear. So the SPY, oops. This is United Healthcare, which again, if it breaks 384, it's a continue to the short. You have to break 386 for resistance. So UNH I'll be looking at. Trying to find an easy play. All right, SPY. Again, we talked around this 570 mark, 566, 570 as resistance. So if we can get SPY, maybe bounce off of 565, go to 570, in and out. Today is Friday. Not trying to be in the market all day. Fridays and Mondays sometimes have low volumes. So Qs 488 is 487 is support, 492 is resistance. So I'll be looking at SPYs and Qs, maybe a $3-4 move in and out, and that'll be a wrap for today. All right, we checked out a lot of stocks. Hopefully this video has been helpful. If it has, please like and subscribe, and I'll check you out in the next one. All right, thanks.